today, we saw the state calling the first of its witnesses. Two of them, in fact, had given testimony in the Pietermaritzburg High Court. Now, this all forms part of its case, and it's really trying to prove that the violence that we saw at the Glebelands hostel between 2014 and 2016 was largely as a result of the actions of the 8 accused that appeared in this court. What they're trying to prove mostly is that the kingpin behind all of this is the former policeman Bekukwazi Mdweshu. The state is alleging that he was running a criminal enterprise at the Glebelands hostel, and with his co-accused, they were instilling fear in the community. They're collecting money in return for the protection of certain residents. And during the operation of this criminal enterprise, there were several people that were murdered. They are being accused of 9 of those murders that took place. Now, Marcel, you'll imagine that the evidence collected at these crime scenes obviously forms a very integral part of this case, and that, I imagine, is why the state decided to call 2 of these crime scene investigators from the local crime record center that had given testimony today. The first of them was Mthokozisi Sishi, and he was there during a murder that, rather an attempted murder that took place in 2014. There were 4 victims in that matter, and he was the one that had arrived on the scene to collect blood samples. What the state prosecutor, Dorian Paver, is also trying to pinpoint here is whether accused number 1, that's the former policeman Mdweshu's blood, was in fact found at the scene, which in fact places him at the scene of this attempted murder. But the defense attorney here, Martin Krog, had poked holes in Sishi's testimony, saying that the photographs that he had taken of that bottle, which allegedly had Mdweshu's blood on it, was too vague. It could have been anywhere. It didn't necessarily have to be at the Glebelands hostel. He also countered the testimony by saying that he'd received other information saying that Sishi was not at the scene the day after, but in fact on the day, and he questioned whether Sishi had got his facts right. And lastly, I think most importantly, Krog also pointed out that the blood samples that were taken on that night were in fact only analyzed 4 years later in 2018.
While more money is on the way for cash-strapped Eskom, Treasury says it won't come without strings attached.
It cannot be on the revenue side, on the funding side. It cannot only be that Uncle Christmas or Father Christmas, as I said, or Dr. Christmas can just pump in money. It cannot be that. There has to be obligations imposed on Eskom on the cost side.
Treasury is still drafting the conditions for the first part of the bailout, 26 billion rand in this financial year. But some proposals are already on the table.
We need to know when they must be paying who by when, including interest payments, so that you are not bluffed in a way that they begin to repay some of their interest. We want them to continue having daily reporting on their liquidity position with National Treasury and public enterprises. Daily, which they are doing already, by the way. And we want to put it as a condition.
Director General Donda Mokhajane says without the bailout, Eskom won't have any cash in the bank by March next year and could require even more money. But MPs want to see what progress Eskom's already made to turn the ship around before it endorses the transfer.
Most of the things which are here are very much futuristic. We'll do this, and so on. As if the problems of Eskom have just mushroomed yesterday. We don't hear what exactly has happened so far.
Eskom is expected to appear before the committee next month, before MPs will rubber stamp the bill. Lindsay Dentlinger, Parliament. It's now or never. Health Minister Zweli Mkhize says there will never be a better time to introduce universal health insurance.
South Africa is going through a difficult economic situation. The debate on NHI has been with us for several decades, and each time we hesitate to institute, it does not guarantee us that the economic situation will, because of our delay, improve.
Opposition parties believe the state is biting off more than it can chew. They say NHI is unaffordable and the current state of health services will defeat the purpose. But Mkhize says they should look at the other side of the coin.
We do not calculate the lost opportunities in terms of not instituting this national health insurance, we always look at indicators that exclude the impact on the lives of people.
The Health Department has also sought to allay concerns that the bill is legally flawed.
Parliament, in passing the proposed legislation, would not be acting capriciously and arbitrarily, or in violation of the rule of law, or in violation of any provision of the Constitution, should it enact this bill.
The Health Department says it's working closely with Treasury on how it will fund the NHI. Lindsay Dentlinger, Parliament.
From delivering blood to remote rural areas, to possibly spraying crops, and now to investigating road accidents, it seems like the use of drones in South Africa is growing rapidly. And that is the reason why the South African's oldest insurer is looking into adapting the bird's eye view into their field of work.
We use the drone to film this accident scene, and that footage can be incorporated into the technology that we use to do the reconstruction of the accident scene.
Deploying drones to major incidents will allow experts easier access.
I think with using drone technology, we'll be able to get an idea of the extent of damage following a major incident a lot faster, because we'll be able to get the drone into that space a lot quicker.
The Civil Aviation Authority is known for being strict about the use of drones, but an industry federation believes as long as regulations are followed, there shouldn't be a problem. It says drones will provide a more detailed analysis of an accident.
There are certain elements, there are certain features, there are certain clues which you might miss as a human being simply because you are on the ground, right? However, if then you can put yourself, you can put that eye up in the sky, you are able to see exactly, for example, if you're looking for scratch marks, you're looking for skid marks, you're looking for maybe some debris which flew from the accident.
Old Mutual EyeWise will become one of only 47 registered, remotely piloted aircraft system operators in the country. Pretoria.
Finance Minister Tito Mboweni released an economic strategy with some bold proposals about how to revive GDP growth. They include lowering the price of fuel.
It should be reviewed in such a way that it benefits South Africans. As we speak currently, we've got reserves, but on our coffers, we are running dry.
If we can lower the price, I think it will help a lot of people. It will help a lot of businesses, especially small businesses.
For SMMEs, the minister is suggesting red tape be cut by 25%, as well as creating one fund for small businesses.
That's great. And if they can, even doing the fund, consolidate the existing funds, because each fund has got its own specific rules, and those rules take too long, and sometimes they differ from fund to fund.
If they say they only one fund for all those small businesses, I don't think they will cope. The government will never cope with that. As you know, our government by now, many things they can't do.
Eskom features prominently in the document. From allowing households and businesses to sell electricity to the sale of Eskom's coal-fired power stations.
As a business owner with the solar grid at my office and my premises, really believe that's forward thinking, that we as consumers actually can offer to be part of the solution and offer energy back into the grid.
As we speak currently, Eskom is monopolizing the whole thing. It's the only company that offers energy, and yet we've got other companies that are offering energy.
And should the visa regime be changed to get skills into the country?
I think we need to work on developing skills around the country first before allowing people to come in here, unless we bring in people to come and bring in skills and teach skills.
South Africans have just over 2 weeks to comment on Mboweni's proposals ahead of his medium-term budget policy statement in October. Aviwem Tila, Johannesburg.
He has gone rogue. On this one, he has. And that's why COSATU has always said that, we don't want to personalize issues. We really don't want to personalize issues. But we think that when individuals who are given a responsibility to lead at the level of government as cabinet ministers, they can't just wake up and think that they own this country.
COSATU says it's had enough of Finance Minister Tito Mboweni and his lack of consultation.
He seemed to be positioning himself as a prime minister in the absence of the president.
At the heart of this battle is Treasury's draft economic recovery strategy. COSATU's trashed the proposals as counter-revolutionary.
We have some questions about this draft economic recovery strategy document. What is the status of this document? Why release a document to the public before it has gone to the cabinet? Who will be responsible for it? What if it is divested to existing policies?
The communists are also not happy. They are labeling the minister's document as neoliberal.
It's not necessarily a document that raises new things altogether. There are new areas, but some of the older areas, for instance, the framework is what concerns us, a neoliberal posturing of the framework of the document.
COSATU and the SACP are questioning the origin of the document as the ANC's Economic Transformation Subcommittee was not consulted. Some analysts had said Mboweni would face strong opposition. Samkele Masego, Johannesburg.
I was shocked when I was standing in here, and every 1 year everyone was mopping up in the roof. The rain was pouring in.